Virgo, welcome to your 3-month overview. That is January, February, March. Yay! I know, I can't believe we're here already, but here we are. So this is the board I'm using for you in all 12 signs as it relates to a 3-month overview. So January, 1, the Magician. February, 2, the High Priestess. March, 3, the Empress, right? The bottom row is the energy behind it in terms of what best represents the energy at the beginning of the year. The Fool. What should we be open to? The World. What should we close off? Perspective. What needs more thought? What needs more perspective? Okay? Let's see. Let's see what's going on for you. Show me, Virgo. Oh. Of course, there's a good chance you will hear Cinnamon. Oh, there she goes in the background. You know, we are now really starting to enforce boundary training and boundary techniques at home. So she's a little restless right now. If you hear some noises, sounds, frustration, you know, that kind of thing, it's normal. It's normal. They have to learn that they can't be by mommy's side every day, all day. So she's learning that. She's doing pretty well. She's doing pretty well. But every now and again, you'll hear some sounds of displeasure. Don't worry, obviously, I take breaks in between messages. You 100%. Puppies take work, guys. They're like babies. They need constant attention. It's not nearly as difficult as a baby. But nevertheless, the concept is there. Training, reinforcement, constant attention, stages, phases, that kind of thing. All right, show me, Virgo. And then also, as some folks have been pointing out, how annoying it is to hear her toys. Get over it. She's a puppy. She has to have toys. And toys, generally speaking, make noise. There you go. All right. That's it. I just don't want to hear the complaints. I don't want to hear the complaints. That's it. She has to make noise. She's a puppy. Okay. All right. There you go. It's weird, guys. People can and will complain about everything. All right. Show me. Show me Virgo, please, in January. Show me Virgo, please, in January. Show me Virgo, please, in January. You know, she's not like Bob with the lawnmower, is she? All right. Rebirth, Judgment. Oh, yes. Oh, my. 4 of Pentacles, the 3 of Cups. Okay. This is interesting. I see you've been holding on to something that you used to connect to emotionally, but you've been holding on to it like a residual energy, okay? You're showing me rebirth and or judgment around this construct. Something you used to connect with emotionally, even in the smallest of ways. You said you've been holding on to it, but not necessarily doing anything with it. You would like to experience a rebirth and or judgment around this. In other words, what's the point of it? Should I do something with it or let it go? And what's my lesson in that? Connecting with it. What's the point? Why am I holding on to it, but I'm not engaging in it? What's the lesson in this, Virgo? What's the rhyme? What's the reason? Okay, you actually want to know. You do want to know. It's interesting. I'd like to dig a little further into that. Let's see this, please. Show me more on this. Show me more on this, please. Five of Wands, Page of Wands, the Ace of Wands. I see you wanting to make a decision in January that says, I either need to connect with this or let it go. You seem to understand its responsibility that you are placing upon yourself to understand, and you want to understand it. You're frustrated. You're frustrated. You've been holding on to something that you used to connect with emotionally. It made you feel good, but there's been non-participation in it for some time. And you're like, what's the point of holding on to this? I either need to do something with it or let it go. And that Five of Wands I'm seeing is irritation. Irritation because part of you still feels inspired to open up towards it. It calls to you in a way that irritates you. You know what that is? That feeling. It's like, this really calls to me. It irritates the shit out of me. I wish it didn't. I wish it didn't. Parts of you are inclined to figure out ways to let it go like really come to peace with it and let it go. And there's other parts of you that fight for it or want to fight for it. And say, I'd like to re-engage with that still. Come January, you're feeling pressured to make the decision. But it's a good kind of pressure because judgment's there. That means, you know, it's time. It's time to make that decision. Whatever it is you choose, may it be right for you. I don't know what that Three of Cups is to you. Anything where you're emotionally connecting with anybody. You know? I don't know who that is. I just know that you've been like this with it. You used to connect with it, and it made you feel good in certain ways. But we haven't let it go. So your Virgo's like, Virgo, either step up into it, try to do something with it, or let it go. What's wrong, man? What's wrong, lady? What's going on? Why are we holding on to this? And if it means so much to you, then re-engage with it. And if we can't re-engage with it, then let it go. Come on. Figure it out. It's kind of like that. The decision's with you. That's why judgment's attached to you. It could be a lesson here about what is right to connect with you and what isn't. And if you do feel so strongly compelled towards it, perhaps it is correct for you. But who knows, for one reason or another, we couldn't last connect with it correctly. We didn't know how. Parts of you would still like to try and advocate for that side, fight for that side. And other parts of you like, but it's been cold. It's going to come down to you. It is an internal conflict. I'm not saying it is external. I'm saying it is internal. And for something in January, you're like, this is it. It kind of comes across as a New Year's resolution that you don't know if you can really adopt. You know, and you want that answer for yourself. If I say I'm not going to connect with this anymore and completely let it go, I got to mean it. But a part of you isn't satisfied with that answer. Is it there as a possibility? Yeah. A part of you, no matter how small, would still fight for some sort of reunion with this. And I think that's why you're not showing me it's a piece of cake. There's nothing wrong with that side of you that wants to fight for this. To show it some reignition with the Ace of Wands, to show it some hope, some inspiration, Page of Wands. Just the idea of it starting out small with the Page of Wands explodes into an Ace of Wands for you. The idea is that with just a little bit of hope, it could reignite. Again, I don't know what that is. But when you connected with it, it felt good. Like I said, I think the only reason why it's not a resolution that you can really stand by is because that conflict in you is still there. What you do with that conflict, I don't know. You can either try to appease it by re-engaging in this, and that might take you to a direction that's right for you, or you can really try to figure out how to shut down that feeling towards it so long as it's right for you. Choice is yours. I don't know which one's right for you. I just know you want to resolve the conflict in you. Okay? Let's keep moving along. Perhaps I'll see more about this. Maybe not. I don't know. Show me February, please. It's like, right, I want to answer about this. Exactly. I want to answer about this January 1. And that's frustration. Goodness gracious. She's giving the business to one of her toys, I'll tell you that. Oh, I think that's so funny because she is Virgo. She is a Virgo. So the fact that she kicks off during your readings, that's great. I like that. Oh. But that's, if you're not familiar with Husky sound, that's play, interest, you're frustrating me, but I'm still interested. Kind of like that. Okay. Let's see, we got that Page of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, and the Queen of Cups, you know. You're going to invest more in clearing up any confusion within you so your heart can become clear on a particular subject. I'm sorry, that's so vague. I need to see more. What else, please? How so? Your heart has something in it that wishes to relieve itself, but you would have to invest more in clearing up the confusion, procrastination, and or stuckness in order for you to rather see the full capacity of your heart and what it is it would like to do by February. I don't know what the hell that means. Let's take a look. Can I get more on this particular subject, please, for February? Your heart here is so much bigger than confusion, but if you insist that you can't see it, then you're not going to see it. Never mind feel it. That's the problem with the Eight of Swords. It has a lot more command than people understand. Let's see. Let's see. Ace of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, the Nine of Wands. Man, I got you investing in something you don't want to invest in. And you want to feel your heart, but you're like, yeah, I want to feel my heart, just not in this. I don't know what that is. It's like it's come February, you have such a fullness of heart. And you want to love and to be loved. You do. But you're like, just not in this situation. So I don't know what situation that is. It doesn't seem to be related to this. This is something else you could potentially connect with, but haven't for some time. The hope that gives you hope, that spark, that shard of hope that's in you, causes you conflict because you think you're supposed to part ways with it, but you haven't let it go. This is something else. This is an Ace of Pentacles you don't seem to be particularly emotionally interested in anymore, and for some reason that hits you so hard in February. It could be to do with Valentine's Day energy, where I see emotional disproportions often in February. Well, Valentine's Day isn't necessarily a universal concept. It is a strongly an American one, but that's when I will see those emotional pockets of I have a huge heart and I want to love, just not this situation. But you're giving something to it. You are. But you don't necessarily give your heart to it. Your heart would like to receive more and express itself more, just not towards this. Whatever this is seems to have your attention in reality in terms of 3D, but it doesn't seem to have your heart. And you have a beautiful heart. But where it's supposed to point isn't grounded there. It's not anchored to whatever the reality represents. I see you giving yourself to it 3D, but your heart pulls aside from it. It doesn't like expressing itself to whatever this is. You resist it. At the emotional level. You don't seem to love it. That's a lot of lack of enthusiasm for something that shows up in your 3D. That is an Ace of Pentacles. But you have not given yourself full permission to see that yet. Despite how big your heart feels. Is soft and vulnerable, or would like to be soft and vulnerable, just not with this. It's like you, whatever this is, it's like it preoccupies my 3D, Christina, but my heart's not in it. That sucks. Let's take a look at March for you. Show me March, show me March, show me March. Just to make this clear, this is non-engaged. Again, this is non-3D, but it used to be. This is active 3D, but you're not emotionally present for it. This, you wonder if you could be emotionally present for it again. The hope is there. It causes you conflict, because for some reason you seem to think you should have been done with it by now, but you're not. This is something you probably should have been done with in your reality, but you haven't been, or haven't done. It's interesting. Show me March. Show me March, please. And to those persons who are like, oh great, thanks for all the good news. Well, I'm not the one who needs to make the changes. So, if it's all bad news bear to you, I am sorry to hear that. Make different choices. Guys, it's not about me giving you the best possible predictions. It's about, this is what I'm seeing, and it's either true for you or it's not. And if it is true for you, what are you willing to change? Real tarot is real life. Okay, King of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, the Star. That's better. That's better. Your energy is rising a lot compared to where it has been. You seem to be moving in a direction of this could work. Not only could this work, you want it to. Eight of Pentacles, the Star. And something has strongly captivated your attention in terms of direction, passion, motivation to get there, and the work to put into it. You seem to be strongly desiring this, whichever it is the Star, and it's showing up heavily in March. Can I get more on what this is, please? See, there's that. See, it's not all bad news bears, guys. It depends on what you're willing to do to get out of this, to do what's right for you, Too many people watch tarot saying, please land a miracle in my lap where I have to do absolutely nothing for it, and then I'll be inspired for change. Thanks, universe. That's never how it works. Those usually come in the form of tower moments, and at the time, we don't see them as a gift. No. But March here, considerably different. Considerably different. So that means you did something to shift this. Otherwise, I wouldn't be seeing that, because that is beautiful. King of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, the star. Gorgeous. Beautiful. Okay. Nine of Swords, Ace of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. You made a decision, a strong one. You cut out all the anxiety and bullshit attached to it. So you whittled down any sense of stress and anxiety to one particular truth, right? So when we use that Ace of Swords, we gain absolute clarity, insight, or crystallized knowledge. That shit goes away once we accept a particular truth. What that particular truth involves, I don't know, but it has to do with a balance here, one that you can move towards with a lot of confidence and desire to do so. Whatever this is, you want it to work out. You made up your mind on the subject, and you kind of cut out all the what ifs. What if this, what if that, what if that, and you just went Ace of Swords, call that. Cut it all out. Let's just aim for balance. And it's a balance that you very much desire, but you're kind of keeping it in check. I can put real work into this. I desire to. I have the confidence to it. Cut out the anxiety. I have one truth here. I'm going to aim my sights towards balance, practical, 3D. That's it. But you're showing me a lot of hope behind that desire too. So it's a balance that means a lot to you, whichever that is. I do feel that this and this are related. Okay? I see fire attached to this in a way that frustrates you, because you want to repel from it, be done with it, but still hope to open up towards it, and that's where the conflict comes in. And I said that's going to come down to you, honey. There's a reason why you've held on to it, no matter how seemingly low that emotional connectivity was. The fact that you held on to it as long as you did, with judgment, that means it was an important holding pattern, that you needed to see it for what it was. You weren't done with it. You just weren't done with it. I see you're making up your mind towards it in March. Keeping in mind, balance structure, Six of Pentacles, that's it. But with the intensity to put some really damn good parts of yourself into it, if something comes out of it. This, I don't know about this. I don't like it. I don't care for it. It suggests you have a big heart, but wherever it currently finds itself in the 3D is not attracted to it emotionally. You don't seem to be in love with the environment or whatever else is in there with you, practically speaking, but you can't quite see that yet. Or you're not allowing yourself to see it. It does not engage your heart. In fact, it seems to reject your heart, and it seems to be something you're not comfortable seeing yet. This, whatever it was you last connected with it, it did not seem to reject your heart, and I think that's why you still kind of pulled towards it. There is a plan here, and it's practical. And while you are turned on for that plan, it's coming across as enthusiasm and passion to do it. And the star, it's like an admission, this means a lot to me. But the most I'll aim for at the upfront is balance, if nothing else. If I get more from it later, great. For now, balance. It's funny how you're showing me an arc over this. Some of you are not aware of what, like this is a spot you don't like looking at. So it's like you're bypassing this big chunk here in February in order to get to this goal. I don't know. Let's take a look at that. Show me the Fool, please. Once more, the Fool. Things you might open up towards. Anything else, please? Show me that Fool, please. Show me the Fool. Show me the Fool. Show me the Fool, please, for Virgo. Show me that Fool, please, for Virgo. Show me the Fool, please, for Virgo. See? You make changes, clear up the thoughts, things start to happen. You know? I get frustrated with people who get frustrated. Oh, well, thanks for that. Or it's the same reading. No, it's not the same reading. They can't all conceivably be the same. They'll have undertones of similarities. That's what it is to be human. We have more things in common than not. But no, people who insist they see no changes because they themselves have seen no change with themselves. And I can't make anyone change, see things differently, open themselves up differently, so on and so forth. So while I know this seems discouraging, I'm still seeing progress. I would have been irritated if I didn't see any progress over 3 months. But you didn't. You showed me that in March. You resolved this, so give yourself credit for that. This is my biggest concern, though. That's a lot of 3D energy for something that you are not necessarily convinced that you have any sort of feeling for, or that you are getting any feeling back from it, but you can't see it yet. So you're doing that thing where I kind of warn people, don't bypass the issue. This is an issue. And I do see you kind of bypassing it. You made up your mind on this, which is cool, but there's a big chunk of unresolved shit right here. Unresolved stuff. All right, King of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, the Eight of... That's exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, Spirit. There's that Eight of Swords again. Your opening up energy, they're saying it's taking a lot for you because this is something you've been putting off. You don't want to see it. This thing I've been telling you that you've been wanting to bypass. If I resolve this, I can feel better. And you do. But this has a huge say in why I think you're doing any of this at all. And it's the thing you least want to look at. And they're saying it's time. You've had plenty of time to look at this. The thing that you don't want to look at in your 3D world. Okay. It commands the most amount of your everyday energy. Ace of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. All right. It's what you want to look at the least. It's time that you opened up towards it. You don't have to do anything with it. But they're saying just be open up towards the thing that you've been blinding yourself towards. And it is a situation that you are embedded in. I'm not saying you're not. The reality of it's here. But your heart's not. And that's something that we need to see. Accept it. Come to terms with it. That's, as far as opening up towards, that's not bad. Open up towards the reality. That's a mental thing first and foremost. Okay. Once we start to see the truth, the feelings come and the spiritual connectivity to the truth comes. Okay. And then we become more resolved about what to do. So you showed me that same process for this and you do solve it. But this... We've had time to take the blindfold off to this situation. You don't seem to love it, and it doesn't seem to love you back, and I don't know what the hell it is. But it's like, I just want to bypass that. No. It's time. It's time to open ourselves to the truth of it. Let's see the world, please. Let's see the world, please. Show me that world, please. Show me that world. Show me the world. Show me that world, please. Show me that world. Oh, Smuckers. Okay. I got you. Okay. I see your Six of Pentacles here. I know who it is. Well, I know who it is in terms of the cards. You actually know who it is in reality. You are reopening a case with this Six of Pentacles, so it is this. The world, you're not closing it off, you're opening, you're reopening a cycle. It's a fresh cycle with someone whom you know. Okay, I got you. I'm on your trail. Still don't know what the hell that's about. That's my biggest concern by far. And the reason why it's my biggest concern is because it's the one that you've been avoiding for a very long time. The truth with you. Like I said, you want to completely bypass it. So with this world, you are not closing off. You are reopening a cycle. I see you talking to a very powerful person, or rather I should say it's a connection. There it is. I told you, once you knock out those what ifs, boom, 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 the Ace of Swords, once more, crystallized knowledge. takes all the bullshit away, and you said, at most, I will settle upon a balance with this person, this situation. I can actually say I feel good about it, and that I could put constructive work into it, and if I'm being honest with myself, I really desire or strongly desire this. So this is where we clear up that confusion about what to do. You're reopening that cycle with that person. Lover's contract. 8 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles. The communication will become active. At some point, it's looking like possibly in March. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to see. But somewhere within that 3-month period. You know, like I said, but we got to cut out the what ifs. Cut out that what ifs. Boom. There it goes. You're reopening that particular cycle. That one speaks for itself. I saw how you work through it. The back and forth. I must be holding on to this for a reason. And I'll tell you why. It's the last time you felt emotional connectivity that was yours. Because whatever this is represents the absence of it. But again, you can't quite see that yet. You very much continue to hold out hope for and desire to connect with something the last time you felt emotionally connected to somebody. That's a big old emotional connectivity bracket right there. But you're saying reasonable, 6 of Pentacles. Just, I'll start there. Okay? All right, so you got that. Boom. We got problem 1 solved. That problem 2, though, that's kind of glaring. It makes this look like child's play. But it's not. It's a very strong connection. Well, it's no wonder. It's no wonder you held on to it. I mean, is it really a surprise? No. Nah. That's why judgment's attached to it and the decisions with you. Because it is. There you go. So it looks like you get a response. They're choosing to communicate back. Dual. The Lovers. 8 of Wands, 6. That's all even. What needs more perspective? Show me. Yep, that's not a closing off cycle, that's a reopening. That's a reopening, honey. So strong connections have a way of doing that, and so long as 2 people feel that it's correct and they've done what they need to do on each side, then I'm perfectly fine with it. I would encourage it. If it's a bunch of nonsense and bullshit and anger and frustration and devil crap, then obviously not, but that's not what I'm saying here today. I'm seeing you having a hard lesson about why you held on to it to begin with, and why do you struggle with the concept of holding out hope for this, and are you even correct in that? Am I insane, Christina, to hold out hope? No, you're not insane, honey. It's just one of those strong connections. And it's literally the last time you felt connected to your heart space, even if it was small. It's like, I'll take that, and I'll see why you'll take that. Not that I would say minimize what it is that you take. That I would never say. That's not what I mean. I can see why you would take that, because something here in your reality suggests emotional absenteeism, both giving and receiving. So of course you're going to strongly hold on to and desire that which you last emotionally connected to. Make sense? It's not rocket science, guys, honestly. It might seem that way, but and don't get me wrong, energies can be extremely conflicting, and then the mental stuff comes in. I know, but honestly, if this weren't here, you wouldn't have to bypass any of it all. You wouldn't have to overlook it. You wouldn't have to blind yourself to it. You never would have had to stop connecting to this. You could have been balancing in it and feeling the strength of your own heart and convictions much sooner, had it this void not been here. Let's say that Hanged Man. It seems to consume so much of your world. 2 of Wands, 7 of Cups, 8 of Pentacles. You are literally working through your feelings as you best understand them. What you need to understand about any of these situations. The 7 of Cups, unfortunately, but also accurately, I must say, depicted in this situation, which you're going to have a variety of feelings, and for you, that's absolutely true. I've seen everything from frustration, anger, desire, love for love. You do want love? To the absence of love and not understanding that, to desiring love with the person you last connected to that made you feel that way. You're also part of your feelings is a practical desire to bring everything home, if nothing else. You need perspective on what you've been working through, decision making through your heart. Where it is you are inclined to put the most work, realistic work, into understanding your feelings. That is your answer. Not where you're not inclined. You see that why we need more perspective? It's not just where you want to put the most work into what you feel, but also where you don't feel inclined to put any work into what it is you don't feel. Why would you? You don't feel anything towards it, and it doesn't seem to feel much towards you. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't presume to. The Ace of Pentacles, King of Pentacles energy for the Earth signs is different. I don't really know what's in there. I just know that the Virgo I'm looking at, you know what's not in there. So, well, I congratulate you for clearly working through one of these big things. Problem one, boom. You got it, you worked through it. You made a decision, and it looks like it's the correct one. You're reopening a cycle, in case I didn't make that clear. And I can see why. It looks beautiful. And it is the last time your heart connected with somebody. It looks clean, it looks simple. Why would I discourage it? I want you to be happy. I want you to have love. Of course I'm going to encourage it. If it was bad, I'd tell you. I'm not saying that. This, however, it's not that it's bad. It just doesn't seem to give a damn. Or you don't give a damn for it. Either way, it's no good. And it looks like it's running both ways. Again. The beautiful fullness of heart, but emotionally absent. You're saying you have a huge desire to love and to be loved, just not for this situation. And yet you seem to give it your best. February. You're feeling that. Why is that? If February's a gap for you guys, for some of you, annually you feel like this emotional gap every year because it's so prominent, it's so fixed. Anyway. Okay. Anything in here, please, for Virgo? Other than that, I like how you do. You work through problem one. I admire it, but I have to agree with the assessment here on what we need more perspective on. Think about it. Think about it. The realistic work that you can put into sorting out your feelings for one situation is clear. How come you're not showing it towards this? What does that tell you? The spiritual teacher. Okay. This is technically the Hierophant's card. Some of you might have Taurus in your chart. You heal with your classes, sessions, and seminars. So for those of you who have been practicing your spiritual arts, getting mentorship, guidance, meditation, spiritual practices, that kind of thing, I want you to continue to endeavor upon that. Particularly, how are you healing through what it is that you're learning? Apply the spiritual lessons. It's not enough to watch tarot. If it impacts you, if it resonates with you, what do you do with it? Okay. Continue to learn through that. Career change for some of you. There will be a career change. That could be that Ace of Pentacles as well. Could be something that you are working, like literally working. You don't care for it at all, but it seems to consume a great deal of your time. You have no emotional attachment to it at all. It doesn't seem to care much for you either. So for some of you, there might be a career change there. Some of you feel like you're in that lighthouse, though. Not necessarily anything to do with career, but the lighthouse, you feel lonely. That's what I'm saying. I feel like that loneliness is so pervasive in February. The lighthouse. I feel like the lighthouse keeper. I have to keep the light on. I have to keep the light on. I have to keep the light on. Everybody's looking to me to guide them. I have to be a source of light and or guidance in the situation, but it leaves you feeling very lonely. Do you know, growing up, I thought being a lighthouse keeper had that romantic wistfulness to it. I love the sea. I love the ocean, right? I love the shoreline, anything like that. And I would very much romanticize that concept of the lighthouse keeper when I was young, and part of me still does, especially when I can't stand crowds and things like that. There's times you just want to isolate. So I understand that feeling. But practicing it in reality, it's different. Feeling lonely but responsible every day is going to take a toll on your spirit. So again, I don't know what it is in your 3D you give your best self to every day, but you have no emotional attachment to it. And if you're being honest with yourself, it doesn't give you an emotionality back. It does not satisfy. Yet you have the huge capacity to fulfill that. So in that sense, many of you are the lighthouse keeper when it comes to this specific aspect in your life. where you feel responsible for it, to be a source of light, to guide it, but you feel lonely. Some of you feel it's your sense of spiritual responsibility to do this. Part of that spiritual responsibility is to understand your own emotionality towards things, guys. You do know that, right? You have a responsibility to yourself and what it is you're feeling and not feeling. That's just as important. Otherwise, you're not teaching anything else or guiding anyone else appropriately either if you can't guide your own heart space. Food for thought. Okay. Sensitivity. You're becoming more sensitive. You are becoming, and that's not a dirty little word here, guys. That kind of standoffish and stoic and be brave and isolated and I have to give other people good guidance but not necessarily myself. If you're being honest with yourself, in this situation, does it really represent the best of you? Or is it something you feel obligated to? Like without you, those ships would just crash to shore. See what I'm saying? But despite all that, and sensitivity, guys, is not a dirty little word, okay? You're becoming more sensitive and need to make changes accordingly. I think some of you are becoming more sensitive. The things are changing. And this blindness and that sense of responsibility and I have to is wearing thin. That kind of point of view can only carry you so far. Okay. What else, please? But other than that, I'd say very congratulations on this portion. You got that part worked out very well. You did. Judgment was also attached to this one. You worked through it. And I can see why you're frustrated, but desire it still. It's the last time you're emotionally connected to anyone. And it happened to be a powerful someone. I like how you downplayed it to the Three of Cups. So that that tells me it's been a while since you've connected to it. A while. And you can only run on memories and fumes so long. But there's also a reason why you're showing me just balance, just balance. If I'm able to balance with it, awesome. I will throw good portions of myself into it and mean it. But for now, let's just talk about balance. Maybe. I'm curious about when you'll do that. I can't. Don't get me wrong. I see you acting it out in March, but that doesn't mean that you didn't lead up to the communication prior to that. Okay, January, February. So it's up to you, really. All things are up to you. Yes, you need more perspective on sorting out your feelings, the stuff that is working and stuff that isn't. And you'll be fine. Okay, expect powerful change. Yes, indeed. Good. Like I'm saying, I cannot stand it when people bitch. We're past the 10-minute mark. I can't stand when people bitch about, oh, it's the same thing. Yeah, that's because in your life, nothing has changed. You haven't changed your mind, your spirit, your emotions, your physical, whatever. No change plus no change equals no change. I don't know why people have to be... Why do I have to point that out? I don't know. We get stuck in a rut. We get used to being blind. We get used to procrastinating. I don't want to see it. I just want to expect a miracle. And that does nobody any good. So, I'm looking at a Virgo that you are making change for yourself. It starts out frustrating and small, but it gets you to where you need to be. Okay? But yes, do indeed expect powerful change of your own making. The energy is gaining momentum. I know, I see it. I see it. It's right here. The energy is gaining momentum right now as we speak. Whilst we're in December. You'll know what you're doing by Capricorn season, which in tarot time is right around the corner. It's right after Sag. Okay. Hello. A new start is coming. The price you pay for change is change. And if it's good change, it's because it was right for you to make that change. And if it's wrong for you, you get the results too. How do you know the difference? One either feels correct or it doesn't. What you opened with, I see your frustration, but I knew which way you were leaning. It's just you coming to terms with which way you were leaning. Nevertheless, You made it. There's you reopening a cycle. And it's looking like you get some response. Okay? So that's a new cycle. Fresh. Fresh. Okay? That's a fresh avocado. Okay? I love avocados, but when they go gross, they're gross, right? So this is not a gross avocado. It's a fresh avocado, but with an old connection. An old connection. I just know that it's been a long time since you last connected with it. Judgment's attached to it, but you've been holding on to it, so that was a lesson, you know? We talked about it. You got it. You got it. Okay. Oh, there we go. Small feminine glasses. Oh, okay. Female glasses. Okay. The letter Q. Intuitive. You. Somebody here is intuitive. Okay. Okay, we have the medallion of Aquarius, big dotted bill, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, and also that concept of prosperity, balance, that kind of thing. Frog with a coin in its mouth, you know, in reverse, Taurus, I think, had that too. You know, one of these situations is not prosperous. Do I really need to point out which one that is? You know, one of them is profitable or prosperous, the other one's not. Okay. Really? Okay. Speak of the devil. The devil, not Capricorn, Taurus. So if you have Taurus in your chart, perhaps check theirs out. Could be connecting to one. We have the dragonfly in reverse, which also landed on this situation. No change, no prosperity, and whatever the situation is, it's incredibly straightforward. For some of these situations, we have lost optimism. The medallion of Sagittarius, you might have some Sag in your chart. And for one of them, we clearly do have optimism. The other one, we do not. Yes, honey, I'm coming. I hear you. Hold on, Cinnamon. Yeah, double medallion of Aquarius. That's interesting. That's here twice. You could have some very strong Aquarius in your chart. It could be something prominent like your North Node. Or one of these situations has Aquarian energy in it. Okay. All right. Virgo, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments as you see fit. Once more, congratulations. You solved one of the major issues with you. You went through a normal process. You took your time with it, but you also understood that there was a lesson, therefore an answer attached to it. You worked through it, even though it frustrated you. You made or allowed yourself to have opportunities for change. Therefore, the change is coming towards you in a way that's positive, as we have a rebirth here of a cycle, clearly. The other thing, though, problem 2, that needs more insight. Okay? All right. Like I said, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well.